So many
Good
lives.
afternoon, everybody. Hi, it's Maria Quattrone with Be the Solution. And today I welcome my guest, Jessica Woodbeck from Troy, Michigan. She is in the suburbs of Detroit, and Michigan has just opened up the real estate market last Friday, right? Last Thursday?
Yeah. Yep, 7th.
So welcome, Jessica. I'm so happy to see you today. I was thinking this morning, we know each other from John Chaplek's group, but I was thinking this morning, oh my God, which mastermind did we meet at? And was it Calgary?
I think it was, yes. You know what it was? We saw each other in the bathroom at that mastermind. And you're like, girl, your eyebrows are amazing. I like her.
They are. I love them.
Not in quarantine, but I'll get back there.
Yeah, I mean, please.
Whatever.
I think it was. Yeah. I think if it was it Calgary though, because
I think it was. And you know what? I actually think it was. It was warm. Were we in Vegas?
No, in Vegas, it was the first time I was in Vegas. It was cold. It was January, and then Calgary was in June, and then Vegas was in September.
Maybe it was Calgary.
It was a short one.
Yeah, maybe it was because Calgary was a short one.
I remember because that was that side area where we ate, and they had like the buffet, and then they had the tables along the side. That's that's how I remember things.
Yes.
I visualize what we were doing, and that's how I know like what event it is or what year it was. Or I remember I wore something for this outfit, and it was that year.
I was actually picturing my outfits. I'm like, was I in the blue pants when she had the eyebrow comment? I don't know. So, one of them. John puts on great mastermind. So it was one of his awesome
fun times. And he said he'd be the first one back in the travel team. So we'll see. We're going to hold him to it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll hold him to it. So Jessica, just so our viewers and our listeners know who you are, just give us a little bit of background about you, your family, your business, and then we can dive right in.
Sure. So I've been in real estate since 2009. Quick story there. I was a single mom, and I have always been a go-getter, and one income just simply wasn't enough. Corporate America, automotive. And so I went and got licensed and started real estate then. Fast forward 1,000 years, and I met my husband and decided to go full-time real estate in 2013. And we launched our company, and he retired from the police force in 2015. So that's our story of how we've gone along the way since 2015. We've had 100% growth rate year over year. It afforded me the opportunity to run Keller Williams franchise. And I had 2 separate brokerages, about 255 agents, heavy recruiting effort for that one, and foundation building, really kind of rebuilding the business that was there. And so did that for a couple of years. Had some great successes, learned a ton. And then I got back to my roots. My goal is to, help people change their lives for the better and create wealth. And while, yes, of course, you can do that on a grand scale, it really fills my bucket to do that in an intimate setting and be able to move people intimately. And so that's what I'm able to do on my sales team. And so we started growing our sales team probably about 18 months ago rapidly. And practicing John's tactics and really learning our leadership lit at an intimate level and raising it. And that's what we've been doing ever since. And we're really onto something special. I mean, we've burned our company down 3 times. And so we're now in an 18-month stretch. 3 times too?
3 down? Yeah. Wow, that's another story. But 3 times is a charm.
Yes. And we're now in 3.0, and I think we're in our sweet spot. It feels right. The numbers prove that it's right. The results are there, and I'm proud of our people and our culture that we've built. And so that's it. We're a culture-based team. It's truly what we're focused on is personal and professional development.
It takes a lot to get there, right? To figure out
yes. So many scars.
What it is that you want and what you align with. I know it's You have to do some deep soul searching for that. I mean, it sounds like you had a big job. And,
Yeah. Well,
and you left that.
I think when you're a family person, you're a family person and a business person, you have this almost tug of war, right? Because you want to be so present in your business. You're so passionate about that. And obviously that passion crosses over into your family. And that's really what I had to get down to is who am I serving the most here? And at the end of the day, what do I want on my tombstone? Do I want to say, hey, it was a, international sensation at a brokerage level, and nothing about who I was as a mom and a wife and, the intimate impact I had on the world and people. And that's really what I had to find. I had to find that and realize, no, it's not a grand scale for me. It's truly the heartbeat of what I represent as my family and my work family, and it is a little more intimate.
How are your children doing right now?
Oh God, girlfriend. That I think my hat goes off to all parents during this whole process, because that has been a full-time job in itself. We had to have a real, come to Jesus, so to speak, in the beginning of this thing, because we used to have, we were blessed to be able to have a house manager and a nanny who'd been with us for 3 years. I mean, so life with this whole leveraged piece just came to a halt, right? Because of safety and needing everyone to be truly safe, and learning all of that, being the house cleaner and the cooker and the mom and the wife and the business owner and pivoting. We had to come up with some, just like we would at work, the systems that you follow in order for everyone to be more sane and be able to do more and be more efficient. We had to do the same thing at home. So we focused on what was most important for our children, which was not, us being the best teachers in the world, because we're not academic teachers. So we really focused on them just simply being happy, healthy, and productive. And if we could check those boxes every single day, then we felt good about what we were doing. We could sleep at night. So that's what we had to do. And we've been doing it for 7 weeks now, and it's working. It's not easy. There's definitely days of, but we're doing our best. We're focused.
I love that. Happy, healthy, and productive.
That's right.
You've been happy, healthy, and productive today.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Yeah, it's definitely, we don't have children, and I feel for everybody that does and that is dealing with all these things that they're dealing with. Even the stuff I do have to deal with is enough. I'm like mopping the floor last night. A wetback. I mean, listen, we leverage our time as well with housekeepers, with going out to dinner all the time, with not cooking every meal, nonstop. I didn't realize actually what we needed and like how quick we would go through something, because a lot of times we weren't, for example, garlic.
Yeah.
I have garlic for like weeks
too.
But the garlic is like disappearing. I'm like, where's the garlic?
I know, it's crazy. It's when you're used to eating out a little more, which we were the same, right? We'd eat out. We have our favorite places we get carry out from every week. And to have to now provide, we're a family of 5 over here. So grocery shopping for cooking every single meal has been, it's been fascinating, to be honest. The whole thing's fascinated me. I've learned so much about myself and what I'm good at and not good at. I am not good at having to cook every single day for every single meal. Thank God my husband is really good at that stuff. So we share that duty.
That's good. Cooking is actually my guilty pleasure after real estating virtually all day.
Yeah. So I hope people are following you, because my mouth waters when I see your meals with your husband and the wine that you pair with it. I'm like, can we go there for a little dinner date? It's like a 5-star restaurant.
5-star restaurant every night. Today I'm doing scallops and truffle risotto.
Ooh.
Yeah, some Parmesan squash and probably steamed spinach, something like that.
You should film that. That in itself, I think people would enjoy, seeing you cook. And
I want a new house, by the way.
Of course you do.
I want a new house, and I've been wanting a new house, but now I really want a new house. Mm-hmm. And I want a massive kitchen, and I actually want to film it, and it's called Ciao Maria Elena, because that's
Oh, I love
that's
it.
my name. And I actually bought that domain years ago. And I'm
Oh,
like, what am I going to do with this? I'm like, I'm
look
going
at
to do something with it.
do it.
We shall
I
see.
love that idea. I will
But
follow it for sure.
I digress. Tell me, you got a lot of really, and I invited you on today because you got a lot of really cool stuff that you're doing at with your company.
Thank you.
And I love for you if you could share with everybody like some of the things you're doing. And there's a lot of real estate people in here, but also business people. Just I think you could take something away, whatever industry you are from, just good business things, right?
Yes. Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah. So what we could just kick off with our core four series. So when this whole thing happened and the writing was on the wall, you kind of watched it migrate through the country. We sat down and had about a 4-hour think tank and said, well, what are people, including us? What will we need? And we started with our core group, like our small business. What will they need in order to be happy, healthy, and productive? Because that's a huge part of our culture. And so we went right towards, I follow the core four warrior training. And it was created for men. And it was something I've always been attracted to. A very good friend of mine turned me on to it. And it's protecting your body, being, balance, and business. And if you are able to protect those core four properties within you, you'll live a happy, healthy, productive life. And so we went right there and said, okay, we're going to do this for our people. And we're going to bring this into the real estate world and relate it to not only skill building, but a way for people to feel sane, in the stay home order, to be able to bring restaurants into your kitchen, to be able to bring the gym into your home, all the things that people need and desire in their normal life. And how do we bring that to them? How do we meet them where they're at and kind of fill the void that everyone would be experiencing? And then when we started creating it, it became clear to us that this was way bigger than just internal for our business. This could be an opportunity to really go deep into the community and do business to business crossover, right? The cross-pollination of not only the social media and the following, but the cross-pollination in saying, how can I serve you and help you with your cash flow in either gift cards or personal training sessions or whatever it may be that the business owner was representing, and also give you exposure of what you're doing as business during COVID-19. Because that's what the community wanted to see, right? How are people rising up and banding together to thrive through this? In our area, a lot of restaurant owners pivoted to grocery bags, and you could cook your favorite burger from your favorite restaurant right in your kitchen. And not only will we provide you with the kit, we'll also have an online tutorial of exactly how to do it. So we really wanted to highlight people like that were working around the clock to not only serve the community at the best that they could, but also being creative business owners, and really patting them on the back and exposing that piece for them. In return, as a business owner, what do you think that did? That gained mind share. And so now the referrals we're receiving, the connections we now have, the ancillary programs that we're able to build off of that, like VIP cards, discounts, things like that. Just phenomenal. I mean, we were able to penetrate the community and the business relationships in a way we never would have been able to before this. Just because everyone's moving at a pace, you can't really get them to slow down to do that, right? To build that rapport. And we were able to do that exponentially faster during this period of time.
The people that have been on the program with you so far, did you know them all, or did you just reach out blindly? Or
yeah, that's a really good question.
People are afraid. Oh my God, I don't know. How do I say, like, what do I do?
Yeah.
How
do I get in touch with all of those business owners?
I'm intimidated,
Yeah.
This is like.
Yeah, and very real. Most of them, I have to be honest, most of them I didn't know. And then we also went on a social media campaign where we were serving our own sphere, family, friends, people in, our Facebook friends group, our Instagram friends group, and saying, who do you love that owns a restaurant around town? Who do you love? What's your favorite bartender? Where do you go after work and cheers a peer, before you head home? And so we got a ton of feedback that way. It was basically surveying the people. And so that way we were able to leverage their connections, their relationships to get in touch with the folks that we have. And honestly, the lineup and the crew that we've been able to secure for the last, what will be at the end of May, 60 days of this Core 4 community series, I wouldn't be able to afford if this were anything other than a global pandemic and people wanting to do their part to give back. I mean, these folks that I've had in the business category are international authors and speakers and CEOs of Inc. 500 companies. I mean, just incredibly talented, successful people that are just willing to do their part, willing and wanting to give back in some way during a time where humanity is suffering.
So basically their hearts are open.
Yeah. And we approach it that way. Hey, we created this community series to do our part and give back, to help people stay safe, stay sane, and happy, and hopefully spread joy. Because, there's a whole other piece to the virus piece, right? It's the mental health game that everyone is struggling with and trying to get through. And we wanted to acknowledge that and hopefully connect with people in a way that wasn't being brought to them. So we've had the ability to be able to go live and bring this to people has been, I just can't even say enough for it. It's been really surreal, and I'm so proud that we were able to pull it off. It is no small feat, coordinating something that hits the calendar 4 times a week. Requires marketing around it, coordination of the people and the speakers. You're doing it right now, right? It's a massive effort on top of, hey, by the way, go sell real estate because we do have to make money. We have to feed our families. We have to do these things. So I'm proud of it.
The solution.
Yeah.
So it's about community building, being the solution. That's, the same kind of thing with Jessica that you're doing is we said, what can we do to bring value to people?
Yeah.
And how can we support other businesses and especially, in our local real estate community. I think a lot of agents, we try to provide value to the agents as well. We did a couple webinars. John actually did one. We did one with a couple of the other ladies in our group. But what advice would you give right now to agents? I mean, you just opened. So Michigan, everybody just opened last Thursday. Why don't you tell us some of the things that you have going on there and what happened when you opened? I think it's because you, like us, have been non-essential up until last Thursday.
Yeah, what felt like a century.
Half of PA is still non-essential. So we're still stay at home and real estate non-essential here. So
wow. Yeah. So what did we do? During that whole period of time, we really focused on what we could control, right? Lead generation and skill building. And, once the doors were open, I wanted our people to be, fatter, so to speak, faster, smarter, and really ready to go the extra mile that it was going to take some territory during an insane time. And so now the doors were open. And so the week that we found out, which was literally the week of opening, the governor came on, we just simply reached out to our entire sphere and database, and we were the educator, right? Hey, I'm not sure if you saw, here's what's about to happen in the next several days. I wanted to let you know first because you're a priority to me. And my calendar is already filling up. So this is what we predict is going to happen. And if you, from what I understand, are really anxious to get into your new property and seeing it physically is important to you, I want to help get you out into the marketplace as soon as possible, because we do know that the supply is so low, the demand is so high, these homes are going to fly off the market. And our people were stacked. I mean, it has been a solid week now since we've been open. And they have all stated now, today was the ending of our full week. And they said, we've never been busier. This has been the busiest week in our entire career.
So they're doing well. They're writing contracts. You said there's multiple offers.
Yeah, we're writing contracts multiple times a day. Offers going out multiple times a day.
Are there bidding wars or?
Yes. Yep. So we're lined outside, like there's still limitations. We can only be in groups of 4, and they want to avoid that if at all possible. People are lined up outside homes in 6 feet groups just to get in. People are blocking out calendars, so it's very limited show times to not expose the sellers to a full day long of intrusion. And multiple bids are plentiful. Yeah, a lot. I mean, and you're seeing sellers not take the highest bid now, which we are just coming out of a market where it was, everyone had secure jobs. The economy was very strong. You just went with the highest terms and conditions. And today it's more about, hey, is this a secure buyer? Are they fully pre-approved? What is their job? What do they do? And sellers asking questions to the agents that, not necessarily you're allowed to answer. So it's different. We're having sellers take offers that aren't the highest, right? They're looking for the strongest, right? Something that's actually going to get through to the finish line.
And so forget about it if you have to sell a house too, right?
Right. The contingency pieces are just not flying. Yeah, totally.
So how do you position somebody for that?
For the contingency?
Yeah.
Yeah, we really tell them that we have a lot of opportunities through programs and mortgages where they can do things to not have to be contingent. So we're urging people to look into that, educating them around that, because most of the general public they don't know that, right? They don't understand what goes into bridge loans or programs that can afford them to be able to purchase without selling. So we start there, and then we immediately say, hey, we need to start marketing your property now. It may not be ready to go public. It may not be ready to be photographed. We need to start hitting the ground with an off-market opportunity with our database immediately. So we'll take a couple of exterior photos and start the marketing upon listing appointment.
You can do that You don't have to put it live?
We don't have to. So when I say that, it's a handshake, right? You're doing it under the handshake agreement of, I'm going to just start networking around this. And as you prepare to go on market, because every seller needs to prepare with decluttering, staging, the whole 9, right? We're just doing behind the scenes conversations with, a ton of realtors in our buyer database, which has been pent up for, 75 days. So the likelihood that we have a buyer is very strong.
And your team has been working the entire time, right?
Yeah. We've been doing deals the entire time. We had one of our best months of the whole year was last month. So we outpaced our own brokerage by 50% of anyone's volume. So, I mean, our people we've focused hardcore on not only moving the people that were willing and needing shelter during that time period. We made sure that we were at least one step ahead, right? We were always educating and saying, hey, what we do know today is X, Y, Z. We weren't out there saying, what does this mean? How are we going to do it? We made a stance in the very beginning of all of this to not be the voice of uncertainty. We were going to be the voice of reason and education.
That's super important. And to band together as a group, right?
Yeah.
I think everybody probably appreciates that more than you ever know.
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, just for honestly, the mental health aspect, right? Everyone had days, everyone had moments. And in our organization, we kind of deemed it quarantine feels. If someone was off for the day or having a moment, we really built an incredibly vulnerable and transparent platform for people to be able to voice it, right? Everyone's having it. And as the leaders of the group, my husband and I, we would start it out. Hey, this is just FYI for the parents on the phone or for anybody who's in a position where they had a quarantine feels moment. We're right there with you. Last night, this happened. And this is how we move forward. It's a moment. And we know that the next moment is ours to choose, right? We can just simply say, hey, that was a moment. We're entitled to it. This is uncharted territory, and let's move on. And that's been massive for our group.
Great. And it's so true, right? So we have the ability to choose our attitude every day. That's one thing that we still can choose to do. So and being okay with, I had a little mini meltdown or.
Yeah, heck yeah. Who doesn't?
We get to give people, give
Give
them
them the grace.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think the one thing too for people on the line right now is, what do you say? Because the consumer is going to want to know, right? What did you do during the global pandemic? What was that like for you as a realtor or as a business owner? And so we have armed our people with the stories, the success stories, the human stories, the client stories. We really made a point and effort to say, hey, if you're doing business with us during this historic period of time, we want to document it. Are you okay with that? And everybody was absolutely okay with it. And so we've got video to show people. We've got, a handful of stories that each agent can relay to the consumer. Because the last thing the consumer wants to hear is what has been going on in their head the entire time, which is uncertainty, scared, fear-based messaging surrounding them. Imagine how many family members and people were affected by this. Everyone's got something in some layer of their world that was affected. And so coming from a place of, yes, we had that too, and this is what we did. This is where we went with it. Is going to be a breath of fresh air for most people, because a lot of agents, a lot of business owners did not pivot. They just weren't in a position either mentally, physically, financially to be able to. And so when you're in that position where you were able to, or you did put the extra work in, I think it's important that you're able to shout that from the rooftops.
We see a lot of agents that, are waiting for things to open and not taking the massive action that they really needed to take.
Yes.
How does somebody get, they haven't, right now, I know that there's people out there haven't taken any action. Jessica, what can they do? Because now it's a while, and now you're like, oh man, this is not good. And so, and a lot of it, so I'll go back first before I answer the question. So imagine this, right? Agent answers the phone. Hi. And they say, I want to see 123 Main Street. And they go, okay, when do you want to see it? And they say, tomorrow. And they say, well, I can show it to you at 10 or 2. Yeah. Right? And they book the appointment and they go. Well, they haven't answered the phone now because they can't go. So what do? So that's why a lot of people haven't really been that are more working more on the buy side, haven't really been doing a lot. And so now they're like, oh wow, this is way longer. What can they do to get off the fence and get themselves out there?
Yeah. I just released a video on this, and I think it's such an important subject because I think primarily in our industry, that is majority of agents. And the first thing that I said in that video was, hey, let it go. Don't beat yourself up anymore. That's in the past. It happened. It's over. And now today is your day, right? Get out there, do it differently, and do it quickly. And I gave 3 tactics, and I'll give them here. And you've heard them before, Maria, because there are a lot of the tactics that, we've shared in the mastermind group. So the first one I said was get a video out to everybody immediately. Hey, this is what's going on this week. So if you're still shut down like you guys, Maria, simply an update on that. Hey, we still physically can't get out to properties. However, myself and my company pivoted to do this. I'd love to show you 123 Main Street today virtually. This is what it'll look like. It's going to take us far less time because we don't have to drive anywhere. You can do it from the comfort of your home. And then snapshot your video in there, send it off as text message to all of your database. Now, if you're like us, and you were able to get released back out there, the message was, hey, I don't know if you know, right? This is what we're doing today. If you'd like to see what, see 123 Main Street, I'm going to be in Royal Oak at 4:00 this evening. Meet me there. I can do a virtual presentation for you, or I can set up a showing for you to have right after I show my client that's already on the calendar. So that was the number one piece. The second piece was, if you can physically get out there and show properties now, so important that you let the consumer experience that again through you. So in your stories, doing the things that you were probably doing before this. Hey, look at this cool kitchen. I'm over here in Royal Oak today. That's a city by me. I'm in Royal Oak today looking at this hot 3-bedroom, 2-bath bungalow, just hit the market today. Love this backsplash in the kitchen. What do you think? Oh, and by the way, if you want to see any of the properties here in Royal Oak, let me know. I do have a couple of openings in this. I'll still be here. And that's in your stories, right? Do the curb appeal. Look at this hot curb appeal. So darling. These people obviously worked on their home during quarantine. Let me know if you're interested in seeing it. I'm in Ferndale today. So if you go and look at my folks' stories, they're doing this all day long right now. And then the post within the 3-part tactic is going to be more along the lines of a client post. So showing some normalcy of you out there showing property. So if you've got your clients, you're 6 feet apart, you got the mask on, whatever it is, meet people where they're at. This is the new normal. So take a picture of it. Hey, here I am with George and Tina. We just looked at a really cute property in Berkeley. I can't wait to wrap this up with them later on, or whatever it is. And put the post and you tag your clients. And that way, right, you're doing the cross-pollination and the marketing, and you're giving people a piece of being seen, being heard, and feeling important, which everyone is lacking right now because we've been isolated. And everyone wants to be seen. Everyone wants to be heard. Everyone wants to feel important. And so if you do those 3 things for the next 30 days, I promise you, the fact that you took off 60 days ago and didn't do anything will not matter.
What would you say to somebody that doesn't want to do video?
You are going to go extinct.
Dinosaur.
That's what John says. And I really do believe it. It took me a while to really agree with that. And now I think with the amount of research we've all done around video, what you see happening in social media is all video. If you think about your own feed and you think about Amazon, you think about Walmart, any of the products you see on IG, everything's video. Everything is video. And just like our mentor says, the 500% staying power that video has in the mind because of the increased ability to showcase body language through your communication is going to outperform the people that do not do it. So if you don't do it, I promise you someone else will. And it's going to be me. It's going to be Maria, right? And it's going to be all of the folks within our worlds. So that is, we say that through our coaching sessions. We also say it to our people. Hey guys, you don't do it. I promise you a competitor down the road will. Guaranteed. So if you're not going to do it, just say, I'm okay with my business going to somebody else. We have a new guy on our team. Here's the power of video, you guys. We have a new guy on our team, just started. He literally started the day we got shut down. So we've never even physically met, really in person. We met him one time through the interview process. But his training and everything he was learning about real estate for the very first time was all virtual. And he started doing these 3 tactics, the stories, the tours, even through quarantine. Yesterday, he did 3 buyer consultations virtually that showed up same day, literally like raining buyer consultations on him. People saying, hey, I want to buy a house. Can we talk about that today? And it was all because he was doing this video. All the virtual tours, all the touring of now that we're out there and showing property. And the source is they saw me on Instagram. They saw me on Facebook.
I love it.
They're experiencing him, right? Allow your people to experience what you're doing daily. And part of that is being a realtor or a business owner, whatever it is.
People want to know you.
Yeah.
They want to know what you're about. They want to know about your life. They want to know more than just, you're selling real estate. They want to see what else is going on. So video allows them to do that. And actually, because they can see you, hear you, see your body language.
Yes.
Awesome. Totally. I love that. That's such a great idea.
Yeah. So and it's really worked well. It's taken all the video plays and putting it into this condensed 3-step process. And in the last week, I can tell you our people have never been busier. Video, video, video.
It took a while, but
yes.
Think
about it.
There's no going back.
I know there is no going back. And you do end up getting comfortable. And until you're comfortable, you just fake it till you make it because your crappy video will outperform everyone's non-video all day, right? Just like John says. So it is true. There's nothing special about the videos I put out. There's nothing special about the videos my agents put out. It is the fact that they're just doing it. They're just doing it. And they're putting their voice on it, their experience on it. And then there's a whole slew of people out there that are just like you, right? And those are the people you want to do business with.
Yeah, just imagine when you get really good at it, what happens.
Sure. I know.
You're like, how much better are you from the first day you started?
Oh my gosh, this is a funny subject because my media specialist, we will sometimes stumble across our old material. So much better. I mean, just the framework in which we do videos, right? There was no framework before. It was just kind of like, let's get information out there. What's that look like? How's that sound? And now there's an actual framework. I just released a video this morning, Maria. This is a good tip. Instagram changed their formatting of stories and being able to watch IGTV. So it used to be a 60-second window before the keep watching button would pop up.
Right.
And just yesterday, they changed that to 15 seconds. Ooh. And so now you have 15 seconds to captivate your audience to want to press that button. And this is why that's good. It's better than 60 seconds. It is harder to captivate somebody to say, I watched for a minute and now I want to watch more. But to captivate someone in 15 seconds, all day, girlfriend, all day, right? That hook is about 15 seconds long. You pause, they have to hit that keep watching. Guaranteed those metrics are going to go way up. One of the smartest thing Instagram did to keep eyeballs on videos was that play. So if your hook isn't strong, it's game over. You got to make sure that first 15 seconds is really strong. So people say, I want more. What's Maria about to say?
So are you posting? How do you do it? So are you posting on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube? Like,
yeah. So
what do they do? Where do they start? Where should they post first? Should they?
Wherever their audience is. So if they've got a strong following or a strong audience on IG, if they have a stronger following and audience on Facebook, wherever their friends and their family are, that's where they start. As you grow, as you start connecting more with people, you can kind of migrate or dilute your platforms. Personally, I'm on Instagram and Facebook. I usually build out anything new on Facebook before Instagram because Instagram I just started about 18 months ago. Okay. So it's not, I don't have as large of a following there as I do on Facebook. So I start out anything that I build on Facebook.
And then you'll replicate it and share it onto Instagram?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. We've
anything on YouTube?
Yeah, we just started YouTube. So we just started advertising on YouTube. And if you are not advertising on YouTube, start today. Take your whatever video you've got, put it on YouTube, choose your zip codes because that's the beauty about YouTube. You're not limited with the algorithms and the way to target people that Facebook has. So on YouTube, you can say, here's the 3 zip codes I want to target people in, 5, 6, whatever it is for you. And you target exactly those zip codes. And the cost per view and eyeballs on there is, it's unbelievable. You can't touch it on Facebook and Instagram.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think it is per view?
Per view. You can run anywhere from the 1 to 5 cents right now. Okay. I'm very new to the platform, so I'm learning. So I don't know if that's every video every time. I don't know if that's just, as my media guy would say, is that just your banger videos that are just really amazing? So I'll let you know, and as my research continues, share all of that with you.
Well, you'll be on. I'm sorry. You'll be on Friday, right?
Yes.
Yeah, at 3.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So I'll share, and I can't wait for that. That's going to be amazing. Yeah. But it is great. We had our first day of advertising on YouTube. This will tell you the power of it. First day on YouTube, my husband received a message on Facebook from a friend of his from 20 years ago. He hasn't talked to this guy in ages. And it was a clip of the guy seeing him on YouTube. We had done a good news, bad news about the marketplace together.
Right.
The guy clipped it, put it on Facebook, and was like, "Hey, Justin Woodbeck, I haven't seen or talked to you in a long time. You showed up in my YouTube channels today. Good to see your face, buddy." And we were like, wow, within the first 24 hours. So amazing.
And that was all in your immediate zip codes, or?
Yep. Yep. That's in our 5 to 6 service areas.
So what kind of money do you have to put against it? Like
we did
$7 a day, $50 a day?
No, $7 a day.
$7?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I know. Yeah, it's really
$7.
Mm-hmm. I know.
You can't even buy a cocktail for $7.
You can barely get a coffee for $7.
If the bars were open.
Yeah. It is
tired of being my own bartender.
I think, yeah.
I'm a heavy pour.
There you go. I think it's going to be more of a brand awareness play, right? Just a layer in your brand awareness, a layer in those folks saying, "I see you everywhere. You're everywhere," right? It's a layer of your Google PPC and your AdWords and your Facebook and your Instagram and your LinkedIn, and YouTube is just another layer. And so far so good. I mean, first 24 hours to have somebody be like, "Hey," yeah.
So you're doing pay-per-click?
Yes.
Okay. So is that geared towards buyers, towards sellers? How long have you been doing that for?
We do both. We just started probably 2 months ago on that.
Do you have in-house person that does it?
Huh?
Do you use in-house?
No, we do not do that in-house. And we did that about right at the beginning of all of this. I tripled down in our marketing. I cut a ton of expenses, but our marketing was not one of them. I tripled down in that arena. And I can tell you today, it was definitely a risk I was taking then. I can tell you today it was a smart choice for us because it kept our pipelines really full and it kept our agents really focused in the amount of leads we were receiving. PPC is a little bit slower than I wanted it to be. But it hasn't been bad. I think, once again, it just is another layer in the web of marketing, right? In the web of the brand awareness and people seeing you and hearing you all over the place.
So you have Instagram videos, Facebook videos, that post.
And ads.
Your 4 core, which is building out your brand over lots of other businesses. YouTube. Yep. Your website, do you use a specific provider, or you have a WordPress? Or
we do. I'm so glad you asked. We are partnered with Curator. They're an Inc. 500 company. The CEO of that company, Jimmy Mackin, is a great friend of mine. And the work that they have done as a business to pivot during this time period to really answer questions, right? Answer the questions of realtors, which is, we need now business right now, not see business, not 90-day business. We need cash flow now for our commissioned agents. And they really spent a lot of time at the beginning of this saying, how do we answer that question, right? How do we take our platform and go next level with it so that people can really feel the leads flowing in that can be converted quickly? And they've done a phenomenal job. So if you're not with them and you're not in my territory, you can give them a call. So you can find them really easily. They're all over the place. We have personally been with them since they launched. I mean, I think it's been 6 years now, 7 years maybe. Yeah. So great company, incredible community. They have a whole mastermind page. They do a lot of events, a ton of training. So we really, really love and appreciate them.
So they've been a good partner for you.
They've been a great partner. Yeah, a really good partner. I'm on there. They do something similar to this, Maria, a live training interview session once a week. It's called Water Cooler. They're really well known for it. They used to be on YouTube. They're bringing it back. And myself and a good friend of mine, Amy Youngren, who she has that incredible business in Canada. We are going on there, I think it's Thursday at 4 o'clock.
Thursday at 4? I'm going to watch.
Wine in hand, and we'll be firing away questions and answering them all together.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So the website, now, how do you connect everything? What CRM do you use?
Yeah. So we have used Follow Up Boss for years, 6, 7 years maybe. And we are just migrating. We're in the transition stage right now to Chime.
Ah,
So Chime is very similar in functionality to YLoco, to Firepoint, to Boomtown. And they're also a lot less expensive. So they have all the same tech platform that those companies have, and those softwares pieces that they have within their functionality is almost identical. I would say Chime outperforms a couple of pieces within those other companies. And we've been really happy. They have AI integration. They've got it all, right? All the things that those guys have too.
wow. We just migrated to Follow Up Boss in November, so
Okay. I love Follow Up Boss.
won't be migrating out of it because we're still, believe it or not, we are still learning how to use very basic things.
Of course.
We had a little training yesterday, and they said, yeah, you click on this little thing, it'll tag all the numbers, and then you could just hit call. And I'm like, and it just keeps calling. I said, are you using that? And then all looked at me, and I'm like,
there's
lots of other wonderful examples, but we won't talk about them because that is definitely not being the solution. Yeah. Being the solution is about more training next week on Follow Up Boss.
It's never ending training. There's always training. Yes. Yeah.
It is a good system. Better than what we had. I mean, I will tell you this, Jessica, if we were not in this Follow Up Boss, I don't know what we would have done.
Oh, where were you before?
We used the back ends of Real Geeks as our CRM.
Okay.
And we used what's called a Manila file folder. We have for all the seller opportunities. And we have about 1,000 of them at the office.
Oh my gosh.
And so every time we would have a new opportunity, we don't call people leads because it's kind of, Sure. So like 2,000. Anyway, opportunity.
Yes.
We have a whole entire seller process. So all this stuff gets printed out. Like I made up this process, by the way. Because these are all the things that I wanted for when I evaluate the property. Yeah. And we don't know who's going to list and who isn't going to list, because a lot of them, you don't understand, they're coming in from marketing, right? From like mailers or TV or radio or whatever.
Yes.
So we would do this. We still do a lot of work just for one file, for one opportunity, because we have to be prepared with the right pricing. So
I have a solution for you.
Now it's on Follow Up.
Google Drive. Google Drive is now your Manila folder.
No, everything's now in the Follow Up Bus in the folder, in the little section.
Okay, that is cool too. I love it. I love Follow Up Bus for that.
But if we did not have this, I don't know what, I think it would have been a major problem.
Right, because you have to be remote. Everything's cloud-based. Yeah.
At least we've been using it, not that as successfully as we should, which is actually really exciting, right? Because now it's like, oh my God, we don't need more leads. Call the people here.
Right.
We really do. Call the people in the database.
Yeah.
So we've been marketing to our database, and I send out the solution, right? You probably send out all your videos to your database of everything that you do that's consumer facing, right?
Right.
And then the same thing for the agents. You can send them that same information to help them, little clips.
Yeah. You know what I loved most about Follow Up Boss is the integration with your vendors, so that you can put your loan officers in there, you can put your inspectors in there, and you can tag them and talk to them and share the file, right? So that your client is really, truly the priority there. I love that about Follow Up Boss. And Chime has that too. So you'll love it. It's been the tagging of the LO, without a doubt, in Follow Up Boss has been critical to our business being seamless. So our clients never feel like, they're getting a random call from an LO or an operations person. Everyone knows that they were just on vacation. Everyone knows they just had a baby. Everyone knows that their favorite color is purple because someone captured it in the file and it was listed under important. mention this every time you talk to them. So yeah, it's a good system. We can't say enough about it. We really loved it. It doesn't have that AI component. So unless you're paying for that separately, that was the only piece for us that was missing.
Are you with YLOPO?
No, Chime. So Chime.
Oh, is that similar to YLOPO? I'll have to look into it.
Yep.
I'm the one who's like always researching all this stuff, and sometimes I make good decisions and sometimes I don't make good decisions.
I mean,
I don't call them bad. They weren't the right decision.
Yeah. Well, you fail forward. I mean,
we went to Sierra. They weren't the right solution.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't able to, we have to have certain videos that we could put out there. If you can't have the video above the fold, it's not going to work.
Right.
It's not going to work the way we need it to work. Right. So
yeah, you'll love it. Your team will love it. It's very comprehensive.
Very interesting.
Yeah, totally.
So any other marketing things?
Marketing things. Let's see. What else? We are
not that the last 40, 50 minutes wasn't enough marketing stuff, but any last marketing things?
I would definitely say we're a heavy marketing company. We put out an enormous amount of content. We have done something that's important to us as agency owners is having our agents, our people be forward facing. Again, because everyone wants to be heard, seen, and feel important. I think it's critical to be able to give that to them. So we focus a lot on how to put them in front of the camera. How do we give them more opportunities to allow people to experience them? So anything that you can think of that you would do for yourself, how do you pivot that for a team member and showcase them? So for instance, this community series, after I kind of mastered the system of it and hosting everything, we're now bringing in our agents to be able to do that and participate with it. And not only is that good for them and raising their lid of video and leadership and hosting, it also allows them to have that FaceTime on their social pages, right? Look at me, here I am hosting something with a local business owner and doing my part in the community, and who can't get behind that? Right. So that's been really good from a marketing standpoint, is looking at anything that I'm standing in, anything my husband is standing in, and saying, is this something someone else in our organization could have an opportunity to do? And if we can answer yes, we just find the way, and we start with the folks that we know can kind of shoot off the hip and from the cuff. And then we start coaching the rest of them to it.
I love it.
Yeah, that's been good.
You walk the walk and talk the talk. So you can show them the way, and just constantly putting that out there, right? Because we need repetition. Just like you said, oh, I heard these things before. Yeah, we do. But someday, somebody will wake up and say, oh, the little light bulb went off.
Yeah.
And now I've heard Jessica say that 27 times. And now, for me, a year ago, it was how much by when, right? That was like a big one.
Yes.
And now everybody in the company knows how much by when.
Yeah.
There's nothing that's not how much by when. And even with the clients. So, okay, great. I'm going to send the listing paperwork out. When will I have it back? Like always, how much by when? Always, what's the next step? Always. Otherwise, what's the point of having the meeting? Whether it's internal or external.
Yes, I totally agree. Next step, so critical. It's like sales 101, people work 101.
How many coffee meetings have you been to and you left and you're like,
that could have been an email.
You're like, wait, we just met, but nothing happened.
Yeah.
And we don't have a next step. So I looked back and thought about it. And so for the last year and maybe a half-ish, at least a year, let's say a year, every meeting I would say, okay, listen, at the what's our next step? Because if I can't have a next step with you, we can never, ever have a meeting again.
Right. No, there always must be a next step. Yeah. We have we always, after every meeting, have an action item email that goes out no matter what. Right. And my gal, who's our executive administrator, holds the role of anytime she's in a meeting, right. That's her role, is to do that. And that has been critical to us, closing loops, which is a big one to me. You know, how do you close the loop that we just opened? How do you close the loop that we just opened? When is that going to be closed? And that way it allows, as leaders, you're not micromanaging. You've just got loops out there and who's in charge of closing them, right? And just designating the roles to the action items. So I think the next step piece is so critical. One thing with that reminds me of another piece that we talk to a lot, which is the yes and how versus the no and why. You know, the two mindsets. Whenever you propose a opportunity or a suggestion to somebody, and you know those people that are the no and why, they'll tell you exactly why that's not a good idea, or exactly why no, you know, these are all the things, the hurdles that will stand in your way of doing that. I'm a yes and how, right? And almost by default to a fault, because sometimes I'm just like, oh, I did say yes, and now I'm here and we're in the middle of this, and I didn't think of the middle part, the details that go into this.
You skip right through that.
Yeah, I'll just bulldoze right on through. You know, I'm like a bull in a china shop, but I'll get it done. You can count on me for that. My husband is more no and why. He can still, these people can all still get to a yes. The yes and how just get there a lot faster. The no and why are much more methodical. They have to go through the process of everything that could possibly go wrong, the black cat mentality. And sometimes you need that, right? You need the yin and yang to it. But we talk a lot about that, because when you can recognize if you're a no and why, you can move through your no and why a lot faster. It's those that don't know that they're a no and why, that they just, everything in life is a little bit slower. Change is a lot less happening in their life. It takes a lot more time for change to be part of what they're doing, whether it's moving or, you know, learning a new hobby, whatever. So that's something that we look for too in that next steps. And also, you know, pinpointing a client that we're talking to. Are they a no and why, or are they yes and how? How fast can you move? So critical.
That's really great advice.
Yeah.
I know that you're a yes and how. I'm a yes and how.
Right.
I could pick out the no and whys on the staff.
Yeah. Yes, all day. I know. I'm married one. I married a no and why. He's awesome. He's the best human being I know, honestly. But he's a no and why. So we are constantly, you know, I'm like going this fast, this way, you know, and he's like, hold on, let's talk about this. Let's work through the details. So
you need the balance. You do. And if it's not a partner and your business partner, so it's supposed to be somebody in the organization that could give you the balance. Otherwise, it's like complete chaos.
Have you read that book,
project not done?
The Visionary and the Integrator, Rocket Fuel?
EOS.
Yes, so good. Yeah, do you run EOS?
We do, well, not like that, not formulated, but working on it.
Yeah. I used to run the level 10 meeting from EOS. I love the concept. And I think at a really high level, when you're running a big business, it makes sense. We haven't found that it's absolutely necessary at our team level, but I used to run that level at the brokerage, and it definitely keeps you organized, right? It makes every meeting count, which is so important. So I
think as we're growing, it's an important aspect to put into play. And Kim Mazenga, who would be the person doing that, she's on maternity leave right now. So yeah, we actually took a position of that we're going to grow right now. I just hired a COO, and we're going to take it to another level. And yeah, I mean, I was already in the process of this process. And so I paused for a couple weeks to and I said, you know, there's no time like the present. So
yeah, absolutely. I think your plan is to thrive and grow throughout this and after it. 100%, full speed ahead.
Full speed ahead.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're doing. I love it.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
I really appreciate you, and I appreciate your time. I'm very thankful and grateful that I know how busy you are, and with not only the business, but the family and your husband and everything else that's going on in the brokerage. So I do really appreciate, I'm glad that we all can be supportive of each other, and that we're in such a great group that we have we're really lucky.
Yeah.
I feel blessed
And honored. No, and I'm totally honored that you asked me to be here, and I'm thankful for the opportunity, truly, to give back and share. So hopefully we made an impact on some folks watching.
I think so. I think this was a great one. And so thank you again for being on Be the Solution.
Yeah.
And I will see you soon.
All right, girlfriend. Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.